That was intense. Hello, and welcome to the Eldridge Collection. My name is Aaron Peterson, and I will be your curator. Did you know that the first YouTube channel I created was called Disturbed Comfort? It came from the expression that art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. It came from my experience with dark, disturbing, weird art, and how I felt that it had saved my life. It did comfort me to know that other people did think the same dark, twisted things that I did. I found comfort and community on the outside, looking in. It was cleansing and cathartic to see a dark heart like mine rage or brood or laugh in the face of the normal and the powerful. I watched The Dark Knight Rises on opening night just a few miles away from Aurora Century Theater. I was so excited to see the film, and I was devastated when I learned that it had been corrupted by such violence. When The Dark Knight came out, I legitimately went in, saw the film, left the viewing room, went back to the ticket booth, got another ticket, and went right back in to watch it a second time. During its whole theatrical release, I must have seen it at least 6 times. So, of course, I was excited to see Joker, directed by Todd Phillips and starring Joaquin Phoenix. I saw it this last Thursday on opening night, and I have to admit that I was worried that violence might break out in my theater like it had done in so many other places before. I wrote most of this script the afternoon before seeing the film because I kept thinking, what would I do if that happened? What would I say if I survived? I could see myself doing this exact same video from a hospital bed with just my phone pointed up at me. And the same message that kept coming to my head over and over again was that of gratitude. Mr. Phillips, Mr. Phoenix, thank you for striving to create something real. Thank you for this film. The solution to violence isn't less disturbing art. It's more. We need the Joker. I was bullied relentlessly in school. Punched, kicked, choked, and then finally ignored. I didn't have many friends growing up, and I didn't have my first kiss until I was well into my 20s. I dealt with mental illness and loneliness, and when a mass shooting would happen and people would say, I don't understand why this is happening, it hurt because underneath all of it, deep down, I did understand. But like I said, dark, disturbing, uncomfortable art saved my life. Starting junior year of high school, I got involved with a small group making movies and with the theater department. We made a silly horror film called The Bleeding, and I had never felt more alive than I did that week. We watched countless movies that were dark and weird and eldritch. Everything from Cannibal Holocaust to Donnie Darko, Magnolia to Capote, Videodrome to Taxi Driver. These films gave me an outlet, and they gave me strength. It gave me heroes in the filmmakers, and it gave me catharsis. I want to do a whole video on that one word alone, but basically, these films gave me a totem to scream at, a rallying cry against darkness and isolation. It was a giant middle finger to people that belonged, and it became a common language I could speak with other dark hearts. People like you. I was an incel before the word even was coined. I was angry at the world, and I was depressed. And I didn't think that girls owed me anything. I just felt so lonely. I felt broken. Being different and isolated is a painful thing. And the reason these pieces of art are so important is because it speaks to the truth of that pain. And it gives you a roadmap out of the darkness. If you break your arm, people don't admonish you for screaming or crying in pain. And being told to think positive sometimes just isn't as helpful as acknowledging that you're hurting. The takeaway from films like Joker isn't to go and become a comic book villain. It's to take your isolation and your pain and to create art with it, art like Joker. Rage against your pain and fear and isolation. Create something true. Create something powerful. Create something cathartic. Create something that disturbs the comfortable and comforts people like me. Now, the film itself is haunting and beautiful and deeply affecting. The pros are the acting. It is true Joaquin Phoenix is incredible in this film, but so is everyone else on the cast. The visuals are striking and saturated with atmosphere and hidden meaning. The music is used judiciously, but when it is used, it's powerful. The cons. I don't know. I guess the violence is taken so seriously in this film that it almost makes you feel physically ill. However, it's far from the most violent film ever made, even the most violent comic book film. Just look at Deadpool, Blade, The Watchmen, or Road to Perdition. Who should watch this film? Everyone. It's a scalpel that cuts through the tense air of our time and makes you sit in the horror of all of it. You may not be beaten down like the Joker, but are you part of the system that beats down others? Are you a bully? Are you cruel to the less fortunate or to the mentally ill? This film sticks with you. It makes you think. It makes you consider your morals. It makes you consider how far you would go if pushed. And it makes you consider the cruelty of the world that surrounds us. I don't think this film asks you to condone the violence. I think it just makes you wrestle with the truth of it. As for my rating, Joker is a true Eldritch artifact. If you are struggling with dark thoughts right now, please, first thing, go ask for help. I've done it several times myself. It's scary and it's hard, but it's worth it. There are links to several resources and hotlines down below. And then when that darkness passes, please go and make art. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a dark heart like me who appreciates the value of uncomfortable art, please like the video, share, and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And I'll see you next week.